All right, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that honestly feels like it was written directly about my life, and probably yours too. We're looking at a really fascinating piece of work by Bananda Das called Freedom of Mind. I mean, have you ever felt just completely overwhelmed by the absolute avalanche of modern digital data? Like your mind isn't really your own anymore? Well, you are definitely not alone. We're going to explore exactly how we can escape this endless, deafening digital noise to find some actual, true mental liberation. Let's just take a look at the reality we're currently stuck in.
The author paints this picture of us living in what they call the cyber world. And it's just this constant bombardment. We are drowning in gigabytes, terabytes, just endless bits of information. Actually, the text describes it almost like a trance. Like we're caught in it, dead or alive, trapped in what feels like a dream world, but definitely one we aren't controlling. It's this super fast-paced, almost clinical atmosphere. But what is this cyber world actually doing to us behind the scenes?
Well, let's break down the tactics here. There are observers actively interacting with us, literally programming our minds using these specific recurring tricks. Think about it next time you're scrolling on your phone. First, they give us a script to follow. Then, they play this whole victim and rescuer game just to keep us hooked on the drama. They intentionally divert your attention to fool your logic and your rational mind. And honestly, the craziest part? They insert this underlying belief of fear and instability at fixed intervals of time. They're watching our behavior with one ultimate goal: changing our destiny.
So that brings us to a really massive question. How exactly are our thoughts getting programmed? The source text points out this really wild paradox. The suggestions that are constantly pushed onto us, they're actually totally feeble, they're weak, and they are flat out lying to us. Yet, somehow, these feeble, lying suggestions still manage to force us to take action in our daily lives. How in the world does that happen? To get it, we really need to look at the pipeline. Okay, so the author outlines this precise step-by-step domino effect. Step 1, the digital information itself is manipulated. And when that happens, Step 2 naturally kicks in, our perception gets manipulated, which leads right into Step 3. The actual meanings of things in our lives become distorted. And finally, the climax of this whole trap, Step 4, our responses are manipulated. It's wild. These altered digital inputs just cascade down to completely control our reactions, our choices, and by extension, our entire destiny.
And this right here perfectly captures the danger of just passively consuming content. Think about this for a second. If what you receive is what you believe, then our thoughts are programmed by the one who sends the information. Man, that's a chilling thought, right? If we just blindly accept whatever manipulated digital data is being shoved through our screens, we're basically handing over the keys to our reality. We stop being independent thinkers and just become programmed entities.
To really understand why we're so vulnerable to this, we have to look at how our brains actually work. The brain can only store a finite amount of information. It's exactly like a computer processor. These bits of data are constantly being fetched and processed. And the source makes a crucial point here. If someone can control the amount of information fed into your mind, they can control your destiny and time. It all comes down to bandwidth, and right now the cyber world is totally monopolizing ours.
But there is a way out, and it's a stark contrast. On one side, we have those manipulative, feeble, lying suggestions of the digital world, but on the exact opposite side, we have signals received from the cosmos. The text is very clear that these cosmic signals are what actually have the power to change our destiny. They carry a voice with an amplitude that is way, way higher than those weak digital suggestions that are trying to force our hands.
So, we need an override mechanism. The author explains that to override the cyber programming, we have to tune into a voice that simply cannot be manipulated. And the instructions here are super specific. You have to be active. You have to read strongly, with a lot of energy. That energetic force is what forces the mind to break out of the loop and achieve true inner happiness, love, peace, and joy.
Let's look at the profound shift from where we are right now to where we could be. We transition out of that anxiety-inducing, chaotic cyber world and step into what the author beautifully calls the dream world. This dream world is peaceful, expansive, it's boundless. But here is the catch. You can only enter this dream world when you become completely unaffected by that endless stream of information. It's all about moving from digital chaos into a really profound natural silence.
Which brings us right to the core of what we're talking about today. What actually is freedom of mind? Well, based on the text, it is the state achieved by actively erasing those gigabytes and terabytes of digital information so you can finally connect with the cosmos. True liberation isn't about, managing your screen time better. It's about erasing the excess data entirely to make room for what actually matters. And this leads to a deeply spiritual realization in the text. It says, "I and my mind are creations of God, and the observer of time." By clearing out all that cyber clutter, we are returning to our divine origins. We basically stop being victims of this manipulated algorithmic timeline, and instead, we become the serene observers of time itself.
So what's the ultimate payoff for this massive mental shift? The source promises something pretty incredible. In this dream world, what you desire is what you get. When your mind is finally free from all that external digital manipulation, your pure, uncorrupted desires just naturally manifest. You aren't living out a script written by some random observer anymore. You become the true author of your own reality.
The text really hammers this home with a powerful, almost hypnotic repetition to overwrite that cyber programming. It goes, gigabytes and terabytes of information, erasing them. One gets the freedom of mind. One gets the freedom of mind. One gets the freedom of mind. It's brilliant because it emphasizes the one necessary action. You have to reboot the mind, erase the noise. It is literally the only path to genuine peace.
So the cyber world is out there, right now, trying to fool your logic, divert your attention, and program your responses. But those cosmic signals are there too, waiting with a much higher amplitude, just waiting to be heard. So I'm going to leave you with this. Are you ready to erase the data and claim your freedom? I really hope this explainer sparked your curiosity to disconnect, look inward, and truly free your mind.